What's up, guys and gals? Josh here today to teach you I'm the One by the Descendents on your bass guitar. This is a really one of many examples of really interesting bass playing in the punk rock genre, which is really known for its kind of bass lines, but we're really moving around here on I'm the One, which is exciting. I did a cover of this tune last week. You can check it out by clicking on the magic little thingy that says cover right here. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. But anyway, let's get to it. Click here to download the free PDF for today's lesson. Magical digital magic. That's got sheet music and tablature for this tune. It's totally free to download, and you'll need that to follow along today. It's got everything written out for you, and what I'm going to do in today's lesson, like I have for the last few song lessons, is I'm just going to play through all the parts of the song at a reduced tempo and isolated so you can hear what the bass part sounds like by itself, slowed down, so it all makes sense to your ear brain. And of course, not only will we just learn the notes and rhythms today, but we'll also do a little bit of analysis and try to actually understand how this bass line was composed so that you can write your own bass lines and understand other songs you learn in the future with greater musical comprehension, because I want you to actually be a better musician, not just learn song after song after song and go nowhere. So here we go. Here's what the intro sounds like slowed down. This is at 100 BPM. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the intro. The second half of this intro repeats throughout the song a lot, so once you learn that, you'll get to play it a bunch of times with one slight variation. So basically, we're starting, you see I've got an E5 chord there, which is just standard notation for a power chord. There's not really any thirds. The guitar's just playing the power chords. We're just doing some little neighbor tones to the root, fifth, and octave, rather than just go root, fifth, octave. We're just wiggling our way up to each one of those notes on the E chord. Go down a half step, same thing on the E flat chord. Then we're up to an E major chord with the third up here and an open E. Then we bring, only happens this first time in the intro, so we will not play the next note, which is a B on the G string, when we repeat this phrase later on. It's only coming out of the intro, so G sharp to B, and then back down to E flat. And we just walk up an E flat Lydian scale, which is Lydian is the fourth mode of a major. But you don't really need to think about that. You just need to play E flat Lydian, which is just like E flat major with a raised fourth. So fingering wise, what I recommend is to play E flat, G, A, B flat, and then shift pinky. So second finger, first finger, third finger, fourth finger, then shift to your index, and then you can finish the phrase. So you only get one shift rather than, confusing yourself with multiple shifts. I think it's better to be clear. Play first 4 notes there, shift up, play the last few, and then the big slide down to the chorus. Here's what the chorus sounds like. 2, 1, 2. All right, let's talk through this. The chorus, again, there's a lot of repeating parts in this song, and I think there's 4 or 5 choruses. So once you learn this, you'll get to play a lot of times. Again, so we're starting with just that little melodic line. I'm the one. It's very similar to the vocal melody, just based off of a C major scale. So C is our 1 chord. This tune is basically in C, although there's a few funky little chords in there. So that's our 1 chord. 5 chord, which is G major. 4 chord, F major. Then we go to an A flat major, which is the 6th chord from C minor, which is called a borrowed chord. So it's a borrowed 6th chord. Because if you're in the key of C minor diatonically, your 6th chord is A flat. So even though we're in C major, it's cool to pull over and steal a chord from the parallel minor. So that's what we got there. 1, 5, 4, borrowed 6, then back to 1. Then B flat major is borrowed from C minor, the 7 chord, and C minor is B flat major. So again, we've got a borrowed chord there. And then here it looks like in the bass part we're going to an E chord to an E flat chord, but really these are second inversion chords. So the note you're playing there after the B flat chord is actually the fifth of the chord, because the guitar player is playing an A minor and you're playing an E under that. So it's actually an A minor chord, which is the sixth chord in the key of C major. And then we're walking down to an A flat chord with an E flat in the bass, so another second inversion back to that borrowed sixth chord. And then we have that little unison riff there that the guitar plays with us, which is just a little 1-4-5 thing off of that A flat chord that we were playing E flat on. And that's the chorus. Here's the verse. 2, 3, 4. So that was the verse and the pre-chorus all together. So let's talk through these chords again. C major, 1 chord, and emphasis on beat 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Go to an A minor chord there, and then C to A minor again, with some cool little wiggling around, diatonic wiggling in the bass part. Hammer on from that B to that C, and then B, hammer the C, pull off to the B. And repeat those. And then here you'll notice that in the main staff it says E, D, C, D. And then below that I have what's called a little osseous staff with, on the second verse he plays a different fill there. Which is again just diatonic, it's just a slightly different fill starting a fourth higher. So you play the main fill the first time, the ossia fill the second time, as indicated there. And then we get to the pre-chorus, which is pretty simple harmonically. It's just F, which is the 4 chord, G, which is the 5 chord. Then we go to F over A, which is the 4th chord with the 3rd on the bottom, because an F major triad is F, A, C. So we're just sticking the A on the bottom of it. And same thing with the G chord, putting the B on the bottom, which is the 3rd. Then back to root position on the F chord, root, 5th. Then to the G, but now we're on the 5th of the G chord, and then the 7th. And then we get to the E major chord, and then to the E flat Lydian scale, which is the same little 4-bar phrase from the intro. And that's the verse, both of the verses and the pre-chorus. So then you take the repeat, take another chorus, and then we get to the bridge, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're starting on a G chord, which is the 5 chord, A minor, which is the 6, to C, which is the 1, back to the 5 chord, back to the 6, then 4. Then we're just going A minor, F here, playing a couple different fills. And you'll notice these fills are sort of borrowed from those verse fills, just in a slightly different context. Little 8-note syncopation there. And then again, that 4-bar phrase that we first played in the intro. And then you're back to the chorus. So that's pretty much the whole tune. There's a couple little variations that come up in these final two choruses that end the song. The first difference is when you're connecting the penultimate chorus, which means second to last, to the final chorus, you have to get from that, like, let me just play you through here. So when we get here, you have to get from that E flat to that C really fast, which is unlike the earlier choruses where the E flat was a quarter note and then you come in on the C on the next beat 1. Now C is coming in on the and of 4 because we're repeating the chorus, and that's going to happen at the end of the song too. So that's why I've marked that C for the following chorus on the 8th fret of the E string rather than over here, because you have to get there fast. You can still do it like that, but I thought I'd make it a little easier on you. And then this last chorus, that next note is down an octave, just as a little variation. And then it's all the same stuff. These changes are so cool. And then the song ends just the way you got into that last chorus. You can do a little fall off that note if you want to for flavor. That's the entire song, and today we've learned that punk rock, although it is very punky and rocky, does not necessarily mean you just have to go for every song. We've got some really interesting harmonic choices in here and a really active bass line, and played with fingers, not a pick. So a lot of really cool stuff about this tune. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Please feel encouraged to take it slower at first if even the reduced tempo for today was too slow for you to pick it up. Just, work on your own with the PDF and your own metronome, and then get it up to the slowed down speed I did today. Then you can play along with that, and then work your way towards playing with the song at full tempo. And of course, if you get the transcribed program, which I've talked about in the past, you can take the studio version of I'm the One and slow it down to 50, 60, 70% wherever you need it, so that you can start playing along with the song now for fun and not have to get yourself up to 100% speed before you can start having fun and playing along with the track. So that's something I recommend when you're learning songs in general. These bass lessons are free, and they will continue to be free, and if you would like to support me in making them free for others, you can check out my Patreon page where you can make a small ongoing pledge and get cool rewards for doing that. And you can also make donations through my website with PayPal. And I'm working on a new book, and it's not out yet, but it will be out when it's finished. And it will take all you beginning and intermediate bassists through the note names on the neck, your scales and arpeggios, and I'm really excited to put that out soon. In the meantime, Beastly Scales and Arpeggios is still available on my website. And I am available for a few more private students these days. I probably can't squeeze too many of you, but I'm available on Skype and in person if you're in Northern California to help you one-on-one with your bass playing with whatever you want to work on. So you can contact me through my website about that if you want to. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the nice comments and the views, and appreciate you clicking like and subscribing and sharing these with your friends. Pretty please. And I'll talk to you guys soon.